In this mini lesson, I'm going to show you how you can work through operations with fractions using the GeoGebra calculator. I'm going to work through this example first. You want to make sure you're on the input bar under the algebra menu. Let me go back and show you where that's at. So you want to make sure you click algebra, and then your input bar will open up. If you need more space, you can drag this around. You need to open your keypad, and to make the fraction 1/2, you're going to hit 1, and then when you make the division bar, it will make the fraction for you. See how the cursor is sitting next to the 2. The cursor is in the denominator. You want to then come up out of the denominator. You can just use these arrow keys. So I'm going to arrow right, and now it's in front of the fraction rather than the 2. So we have 1/2, then I'm going to do plus, and then I'm going to put in 3/4, 3 divided by 4. I want to make sure that I arrow over so that I'm not in the denominator, and then I'm going to do times 1/2. When I'm ready, I'm going to hit enter. This button down here is the enter button. The 7/8 is the final answer, but what happens is as you put in your fractions, it will calculate what you have in there so far. So to let GeoGebra know that you're done, you hit the enter key. If you want to see it as a decimal, there's a little purple box over here where it has a squiggly equal sign. That means that you're looking at an approximate value. By hitting this button, we're going to approximate with a decimal. I have 0.875. Now, if I want to go back to fraction form, I have the purple button here that has the numerator and the denominator, and I can just hit that button again and it will show me. Okay, let's look at the next example. I'm going to look at this one here. So in order to write 5/6, I'm going to write 5 divided by 6, and then I'm going to use my arrow to come up in front of the fraction, then minus, and then because we want to use order of operations, what's in the parentheses needs to be done first. So it's important that you put those parentheses in there. So I'm going to put parentheses, and then I'm going to put 1/3 plus 1/2. Now I'm going to purposely show you what happens if you don't come out of the denominator. If I put 1/3 and I don't come out from under the denominator and I start adding, I'm going to do plus 1/2. GeoGebra thinks that you're still in the denominator. So now that you see what happens if you don't come out from the denominator and you don't hit that arrow button, you'll know what to expect, and you just delete it and retype everything back in. So now I'm going to put in plus 1/2. Then I want to come outside the parentheses and multiply by 2/3. So I'm going to use the arrow key to come out. I'm going to multiply by 2 divided by 3. And I'm going to hit enter because I'm done. So there I have the answer in fraction form, and then if I want it as a decimal, I can click this purple button over here. We're going to work on this one next, the 1 1/4 times 2/3 plus 1 1/2. If you have a mixed fraction, there's 2 ways that you can enter it in. You could enter it in by hand by putting parentheses and telling the calculator that you want to take 1 and add it to 1/4. This is the part, this is the whole. Even though there's not a plus in between here, we're making that assumption because of the notation. I'll put in 1 and then I add 1 divided by 4. So this is the same thing as 1 1/4. Now, if I want to use the template that GeoGebra has, the mixed fraction button is right here. So I'm going to hit that, and then I can enter everything I need. So I'm going to put the 1 in first, and then the 1, and then the 4. Then I'm going to multiply by 2/3. And then I'm going to add 1/2. So here's the answer, but if you want to switch back and forth, you need to let GeoGebra know that you're done. So that's where you hit the enter button, and that's when the little purple box comes up. Looking at this last example, we're going to take 9/4. I want to make sure I come out. This gets a little bit tricky. When I hit the division button right here, it doesn't come up like this, because remember, our division in GeoGebra is set up like a fraction bar. So when I divide, it's going to come up as the denominator of a fraction. So then I'm going to have to make another fraction underneath. I'm going to put in parentheses 3 divided by 2, because I want to make sure that GeoGebra knows that the 3/2 is in the denominator. That is what we're dividing by. I divide these, and then I want to add 1/3, so I need to come up from the denominator. So I need to keep arrowing until I have that cursor in front of the big fraction. So now I'm going to do 1 divided by 3. Oops, I forgot my plus. So let me go back. Plus 1 divided by 3. I want to arrow out in front, and then I'm going to subtract 2 divided by 5. And then to make sure GeoGebra knows that I'm done, I'm going to hit enter. Then our little purple box comes up. So we can go back and forth between decimal form and fraction form.